This is my discussion, review, and spoiler video on Sonic the Hedgehog. Just got back from my mom, and it was fantastic. I loved it. And so let's get started. It started off with I guess you can say Baby Sonic, running fast, going through loop-to-loops, just like the video game, and he's heading back to this hut. It's supposedly his house. Now I can't remember this character's name. It's an owl character. It's not really his mom, but his protector or look after her character, Wing something. I can't remember her name. And Sonic brings a flower to her, and he was told by her not to go out because he would get caught. No, because he would get seen. And of course, Sonic was seen by these characters that look like Knuckles, but they're not Knuckles. I can't remember what they're called either. It's the clan of people that had spears and stuff, and the bows and arrows. And so the owl character grabs up Sonic, and they get out of there as best as they can. They fly off, and the owl gets shot. And she tells him, after she gives him the bag of rings, how to use them to travel to other worlds, and he needs to keep going fast and don't stop running. And of course, the owl character gets left behind, supposedly fighting off the Knuckles clan characters, and Sonic was trying to go back to her, but the ring portal closed up. And it was 10 years later after that, and Sonic has been basically alone in the world, in Green Hills, living in the behind the scenes, watching over the people that live there. And the Donut Lord guy, which is Tom, but Sonic calls him the Donut Lord because he eats donuts all the time, and he protects after the animals and stuff that cross the street. And Sonic calls his wife the Pretzel Woman or something like that. It was just so funny, very creative, and Sonic's just been hiding out in the shadows basically, and just watching everybody, watching Tom and his wife watch movies and stuff, and he interacts with himself like he was in a therapist scene, like he was talking to a therapist, but it was actually Sonic talking to himself several times. And then you see him later on at a baseball field after the kids left there playing a baseball game, and he runs around, and he's very, very sad, so that's why he's running for after Sonic played a game by himself. And after he's running around, then the power goes out, and that's where it all starts. And of course, you got the government trying to find out why the power shut off and all that. And then they call in Eggman, Dr. Robotnik, and it just goes from there, because Dr. Robotnik discovers about a hair. I forgot what it's called in the film, but it's a hair piece off of Sonic's body that Tom had found on the side of the road. I had to stop the video. I don't remember where I left off it. Something about Sonic's hair that got found by Tom on the side of the road. Well, eventually, Dr. Robotnik gets his hands on it and tries to tap into it to use it for his technology, which he does. And then, and the rings that Sonic was given by the owl character were put inside of a bag that he carries around him, like some kind of purse-like bag. And let's see, Tom finds Sonic in a building outside somewhere. I can't remember exactly where it was. It's like not really a warehouse, but it's like a house on the side of the road, and Sonic was hiding out in there. And Tom finds him, and from there, Tom shot Sonic with a sleeping dart and put him to sleep, and Sonic dropped the bag of rings, and one of the rings popped out, turned into a portal, opened up, and then the bag of rings fell down into it, and arrived at San Francisco. So, I mean, it's just a lot of stuff happens in the movie. I cannot remember everything. I cannot remember everything. But pretty much, Tom and Sonic become friends after a while, and they have to go on a road trip to get Sonic's rings back from San Francisco. And of course, Sonic is like a little kid. He has to stop at the rubber band ball place, and of course they didn't have to stop there. He just got out of the car himself and jumped back in, and then of course they stop at a I think at a hotel, but across the street of the hotel. Not at the hotel. That was later. They stopped somewhere else at a gas station or something like that, and Tom was getting on the phone, and he told Sonic to stay in the car. Of course, there was a bar across the road, and Sonic went there and had a good old time and hung out with Tom there. And of course, Sonic got into some mess over there and got into a fight. Sonic and Tom got into a bar fight, and Sonic used his super speed to just basically end the fight. It was really funny. It was it's like time had slowed down and Sonic was going and just messing everything up with toilet paper and all kind of mess. It was just really funny. And also a bear head got placed on top of somebody's head, so that was awesome. But yeah, I should say later on in the film, of course, Sonic has a encounter with Dr. Robotnik on the road, and this is the moment where Tom loses his car. Not really technically, but it gets his, I think it's a truck, and the truck gets turned into a convertible, because if you saw from the trailer, this Dr. Robotnik's robot comes up to the car and takes the top of the car off. But it's just like I said, I cannot remember everything. And later on, Tom's wife finds out about Sonic because Sonic was knocked out conscious, and he had to take him inside the house. And Tom's wife, his mom, they had to tie her up because she just would not calm down. She was always telling Tom's wife that she needs to get a divorce from him, but he's trouble. And it was just so funny. They had her all tied up in a chair, and I think they had a grandchild there or something like that. And she gave Sonic some new shoes because his shoes that he had on were like worn out, and they had holes in them, and they had duct tape on them, and they were just ready to go in the trash. So that was a great scene. And let's see what else can I remember. I'm trying my best here. Eventually, Tom and Sonic and his wife end up at San Francisco at a building, and Sonic went up the building to try to get inside of it, and of course they had to have a security card to get inside. So they had to literally walk inside of the building. They had Sonic in a duffel bag, and he was talking, and people were around him at the elevator, and they were saying, "Do you have your child in that bag?" And they said, "No, well, it's a child, but it's not our child." And then they walked off very awkwardly. It was messed up because Sonic was talking, and he sounds like a child, and he's even acting like a child, like I said earlier. And then they got up to the part of the building after the elevator, and Sonic got his rings back. The rings are inside the bag. He got them back, and of course, Dr. Robotnik shows up, and Sonic has to force Tom and his wife off the building, and Sonic's trying to avoid the missiles and stuff, but he's also running fast to where time slowed down again, and he was able to fell off the building with Tom and his wife, and the rings fell out and scattered all over the ground on the bottom of the ground, but he was able to activate one of the rings and turn into a portal, and Tom and his wife went through and showed up at a farm. And of course after that, Sonic was being chased by Dr. Robotnik throughout the city. And what's funny is, what's interesting is, and I've seen a movie like this before, the movie kind of starts off with Sonic being chased by Dr. Robotnik, and he's talking about, well, let's kind of like back it up so you can see how we got to this moment. And so now he finally got to that moment where he's being chased by Dr. Robotnik, and then eventually they have to have their final confrontation fight between Dr. Robotnik and Sonic, and Sonic is like bashing into his ship, just like from the video game. So you have to jump into him to damage him, and and then I can't remember everything, like I said, and I keep saying that, but I can't remember everything. And then Sonic was able, no, actually Tom actually used one of Sonic's rings, and Sonic was able to push Dr. Robotnik into the portal. And some point in time, Sonic was calling Dr. Robotnik Eggman because he's got these machines, these flying things. I forgot what you call them now. Kind of, I'm bad with memory. These flying things are shaped like eggs, so that's where he started calling him Eggman because of that. But Eggman was knocked through the portal and showed up at a mushroom planet, and Sonic was talking about going there earlier in the film to go there to escape, to get away from Earth. If there ever was a point in time where it just became too much and too dangerous for Sonic, he will have to go to that mushroom planet to escape. But Eggman was pushed in there, and then the portal closed up, and Eggman is stuck there for now. And so, in all this time, Sonic's been like very, very lonely. He don't have a home, and Tom and his wife gave Sonic a home. Their house, they have a attic up in the, so the attic became Sonic's room, because he was living in a cave, and he had all of his stuff in the cave. And Tom and his wife somehow was able to get all the stuff out of the cave that Sonic had lived in and brought it up into the attic, and now Sonic has a home now. So he no longer has to live in the shadows. He can actually be with them and interact with them, watch movies with them, everything, because that's his home now. And he doesn't feel lonely anymore. And Sonic had this bucket list, which you didn't understand exactly what that was. What he has a list of things, of everything he wanted to get done. And he got everything done, and except for a friend. And Tom is his friend, and now he has a home now. And pretty much the movie ends sometime after there. Excuse me. And credits started rolling, of course, and then you get this scene where Dr. Robotnik, Eggman, is stuck on the mushroom planet. He's shaving his head, and he's got the orange mustache and everything, and he is sounding just like the original Eggman from the games, from the cartoons. He's just crazy and insane. Jim Carrey was cast perfectly for the role of Eggman / Dr. Robotnik. It was just perfect. And then of course, there was an extra scene during the credits where Tails came out of one of the ring portals and showed up, and Tails was like saying something like I know that he's here, or something like that. And so he goes to go find Sonic and jumps off the cliff and uses the two tails and takes off. So I hope this movie gets a sequel. It's making millions of dollars, and I hope we get that sequel. And I give this movie a 9 out of 10. Yes, I'm a Sonic fan, that's probably part of it, but the movie was hilarious. It was funny. It was entertaining from start to finish. It had a story like you could actually feel like you could connect to it, because Sonic was lonely in the world, and now he's no longer lonely. He has friends. He has a home now, and he feels like he's secure now. He has a place that he can actually be and stay at now. And I love the movie. It was so good, and I hope we get that sequel. I hope it happens. I'm Auckland. If you enjoy my content, please hit the subscribe button, like button, also share with your friends if you don't mind. Also, please comment ask me a question or comment in general. I'll do my best to answer them. Also, if you don't mind, hit the notification bell down below and you will be notified when I go live or upload another video. Alright, thank you so much. And go out and support Sonic. Gotta Go Fast. Awesome movie. Alright, bye.